today. So what we've done is we've started off the treatment already, just because obviously for you guys we don't want you to be stood around for too long. We've just double cleansed the skin to start off with. So, but I suppose before we really start the treatment, and what I wanted to sort of chat to you ladies about at the moment is what you know about a peel at the moment. What are your expectations? What do you know? Have you had one before?
Never had one.
No?
I've never had a peel.
No, okay. And what's interested you in a peel to bring you here this evening?
Well, obviously we saw all the information, and I tend just to ignore those things, but I thought, actually no, this could be quite useful to sort of know about, and just to think about what you can do to improve your skin. And it seemed to be sort of quite non-invasive.
Completely.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea with kind of any form of chemical peel is that it is a exfoliating treatment, is probably the basic way to describe it, but it's an advanced exfoliation treatment. So with a peel, we're very much able to treat specific skin concerns. So we can treat acne breakouts, we can treat congestion, we can treat aging, pigmentation, dark marks and things like that on the skin, because we're able to go so deep with the exfoliation that it actually impacts then what you see on the outer layers. So what we'll do then, let's get started with the actual peel portion of the Pro Power Peel treatment. So what we're going to do, you'll start to see, it will feel very different to kind of when you have your normal facials. Although after we've done the peel portion itself, it will feel like a normal facial. So we're going to start off using a prep solution. So this is a solution that's designed to, as I say, remove any excess oils from the skin, because when we go on to our actual peeling part of the treatment, any oils or makeup or residue that's left on the skin will stop the acids then being able to penetrate through the skin. So this just allows us to really make sure we're removing any of that excess oil on the skin before we go on to the actual peel portion. So how does it feel, Sammy? It doesn't really feel of anything, does it? No, absolutely. And this would realistically replace the exfoliation stage of your normal facial. So we would add this in instead. And then when it comes to the actual peel, you'll notice all the glass bottles that we've got up here. So this is our Pro Power Peel professional products. We've actually got 3 different types of peels that we can do when we do your treatments. So we have our Advanced Renewal Peel, which is very much glycolic acid based. It's fantastic to treat aging. So if you've got any premature aging on the skin, that's a fantastic one, and we would use that on you if that was your main concern. We have our Power Clear product, which is mainly salicylic acid, and that's fantastic for breakouts and congestion, but also reducing inflammation on the skin. And then our Ultra Bright is the one to treat pigmentation. So if you've got any darker patches you're worried about, we would use it on that. So for our first layer, Michelle, which one are we going with?
Ultra Bright.
Ultra Bright, amazing.
So you can mix and match then?
You can, yeah. So this is what makes the peel really exciting, is that when you come in, the first treatment you'll have, we'll only ever do 1 layer, and we'll do 1 solution and 1 layer of it, just because we need your skin to get used to it and tolerate it and not push it too far. But in subsequent treatments you have with us, we can do multiple layers, we can mix the actual acids together. So if you've got a couple of different concerns, we can really play around with personalising it for you and the concerns that you have. So we've applied the first layer of the peel. You've seen with the skin, it's pretty much soaked in. The skin does not look wet at all. So we've applied 1 layer onto the skin. So how does it feel, Sammy?
Yeah, fine, I can't feel.
Can't feel anything? No. And I think that's the thing, is that quite often when we talk about chemical peels, people think, oh my god, I'm going to be sat on the couch and it's going to be like, oh, this is hurting, this is hurting. We never want to get it to that point. We never want to push your skin to the point of it being uncomfortable. So as I say, on your first treatment you would have just the 1 layer, and we will build it up subsequently from that treatment. And we always talk, don't we, Michelle, about a sensation scale of kind of, 0 to 10, like how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. We'll ask you that continually, just to check, and we'll obviously be visualising to see if there's any changes in the skin. But what would you say, Sammy? You were like a 0?
Yeah.
Literally, literally a 0, absolutely. So the peel solutions only stay on for a couple of minutes, and then, as I say, if we're doing second treatment onwards, we're then going to apply with a further layer. So we can either do a second layer of the same acid if you have just 1 singular concern, or if you are concerned about multiple things, we would then go on and potentially use a different acid. So in Sammy's case, are we going to use the same or are we going to go different?
I'm going to use the same.
Okay.
ultra bright again.
Fantastic. So, Sammy, I know you've played around with these peels a little bit, haven't you? So, you've used all three, haven't you? How have you found each individual peel? Because obviously the ingredients
they do all
differ.
feel slightly different.
Yeah.
But none of them felt particularly strong.
No.
Or irritating or anything like that.
Yeah.
Didn't feel bad.
Absolutely. She's full on hardcore, isn't she?
But have you had before adverse reactions?
Not really, no. What we tend to find with the peel is that, you know, we are very aware of kind of prepping your skin. So if you don't really use anything on your skin, we would encourage you to maybe start, you know, boosting your exfoliation, boosting the hydration in your skin, just so your skin's at the optimum sort of health before we do it. And as long as you do that and then follow the aftercare instructions, no, not really, because our girls they won't push your skin, so they won't do 5 layers for the sake of it. It will literally be a case of working with you with the sensations and how your skin's looking, rather than going in very gung-ho and then you have all the adverse reactions. Have you ever had any peeling, Sammy, at all after?
Yeah, a few days after it does tend to be a little bit peeling.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you probably will feel a little bit of tightness for a couple of days after. As I say, you can experience a little bit of flaking and peeling on your skin, but it only tends to last for sort of a couple of days, and that's just where we've accelerated the skin cell turnover rate and they're just sloughing off. They won't have any adverse reaction on moles. They're perfectly safe to use, even if you are quite a mouldy person. I am myself, and it's absolutely fine. It doesn't have any effect on that whatsoever. All we say is that once we've done a peel treatment, we just get you to be really cautious with sun protection afterwards. So we would absolutely give you products to take away for the first 3 days, which had an SPF in that we'd use, and we'd encourage you to continue using those. So we've done 2 layers. What sensation are we at, Sammy? Anything?
Yeah, 1.
Okay, so it has increased, but still on a scale of 1, you know.
In what sort of sense is a 1, Sammy?
Just feels a little bit tingly, like you just know something's
Yeah.
skin.
And I think that's the key thing, is what you'll feel is, you know, almost like I kind of describe it as a little bit almost like ants running on your skin. Like you can feel that sort of tingle, you know something's happening on the skin. If we get up to higher layers, or we perhaps use some of the sort of more advanced ones like the advanced renewal, which is more aging, you will feel a little bit of heat, you will feel a little bit of tingling, but you'll never feel burning, stinging, etc. You'll never get to kind of that sort of point. So, but did you girls, when you did your training, did you feel anything like that?
No, not at all.
No.
A little bit.
Yeah, but nothing major. No, absolutely. And you can see when we look at Sammy's skin as well, I mean, she's quite hardcore with what she does to her skin anyway, but it's not even pink. Got no redness to the skin. And I think, again, when we talk about peels, and I don't know whether any of you remember 10 Years Younger, the programme that used to be on the telly, and they used to scab, didn't they? It was like almost like they couldn't leave for like 2 weeks and kind of all that sort of thing.
Their whole face would just
literally just fall off. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, definitely. And if you have a doctor prescribed peel, then absolutely you will still get that. But yeah, for us, it's very much a case of, as I say, when we talk about safety and not pushing the skin, is that you should leave us looking like you've just had a really nice facial, but the results that you'll get will be the level of a peel. So how are we doing? All right. How many layers have you done on yourself? Because I know you like doing them on yourself. Oh. Yeah, so we wouldn't necessarily advocate going as hard as Sammy goes. So, how do you feel, Michelle? Where do you feel we want to go? Shall we neutralise, or do you think Sammy could cope with another layer tonight?
She could probably cope with another layer. She probably wants another layer.
Let's say she's like, oh my god, yeah, absolutely. So why not? If she can cope with it, absolutely.
I'm gonna go for the same again.
Yeah, it's up to you. Put another one on if you want. What do you feel, Sammy? Where would you like to go? Obviously, normally we wouldn't be asking our client what they would like.
I was about to ask you that question.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to say, you know, would you trust your therapist to be able to look at your skin and say, well, actually, I think this is what you need to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to a Dermalogica skin therapist, as the girls are, we have sort of levels of education that they go through. So when they get to kind of specialist or expert, which all of our girls here are, absolutely trust them. They know the skin and the skin conditions inside and out. So at the end of the day, you explain to them what your concerns are, what you want to treat, what you want to work on, and they will work out the best plan for you. Absolutely. say, it follows exactly the same procedure every time. So the girls apply it with gauze in the same what's the word I'm looking for, routine as every single layer. And again, you can see we're not seeing any pinkening to the skin. But I think the key thing is like we say about that whole prep of the skin. So the more hydrated your skin can be, the more your skin is used to higher levels of exfoliants at home, the easier your skin will tolerate a longer peel. Yeah, absolutely.
If you were going away abroad,
yeah,
when is probably you better to do it when you come back rather than before? And
I think. Yeah, well, absolutely. So what we always say is that, especially if you are really looking to treat something specific, you know, we'd recommend a course anyway. So you'd probably come in every 2 weeks to have a course. So you'd potentially either have 3 or 6, depending on what your concerns are. So if you were going and having a holiday, we would probably say no, you would probably not have sun exposure for about 2 to 3 weeks after having a peel. So what we would probably do is if you were having a course, we'd do one 2 to 3 weeks before you'd go away, and then we'd do the next one when you come back. Yeah, absolutely. How are we feeling, Sammy?
Yeah, it's about 1. It just feels a bit tingly, but
It's chilled.
So chilled. Yeah,
She'd pour it
absolutely.
on probably.
Yeah, definitely. So, as I say, like we say, the Pro Power Peel 30, the 30-minute treatment is very much a sort of a quick fix. If you've got a party to go to or something that you just want a bit of sort of extra hydration, a bit more of a glow, then we can go with that. If you are, as I say, wanting to treat something specific, we'd always recommend the 60 because we can do multiple layers of the acid from treatment 2. We can also add in, as I say, those advanced serums and those advanced masks, and a little bit of electrical technology as well, which is always a little bit better to help give you those results. So what we'll probably do then, we'll not push you tonight, Sammy, I know you want us to. We're going to neutralise now. So we're going to put a neutralising solution on, which will just change the pH of the acid to bring it back to the pH of the skin.
And I think that's why Michelle's wearing gloves.
Yes, because we're working with high levels of acids.
Yes.
It's just protecting her. You can see our lovely safety goggles as well. So yeah, we always kind of protect the therapist and yourselves. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't think she normally wore goggles I usually got my eyes closed, but
to be fair, they're quite good. You don't really notice them that much. Yeah, absolutely. And especially for the girls, obviously, if they're doing multiple peels throughout the day, it's just to protect them from the acids. Absolutely. I don't think you'd have hands left, would you, if you did a few peels without the gloves? Yeah, absolutely. But as I say, this product is just purely to neutralise, bring the pH of the skin back to where it needs to be. So, Sammy, can you describe to our ladies the sensation with the neutralising
it feels quite
solution?
warm.
Yeah. So I think at any stage, you know, where we've talked about she hasn't had a great deal of sensation up to this point, this is probably the point that you will feel a little bit of heat in the skin just because it's changing the pH of the skin. So this product stays on the skin for 5 minutes just to make sure that we are neutralising the acids properly. Michelle was able to take her gloves off, which is good. And then what we would do is we would, as I say, follow with those advanced serums, masks, and then our usual finishing products like our toners, moisturisers, eye creams, etc. How's it for you, Sammy? Still got the heat in the skin?
No, it's gone down now. It's,
Good,
yeah.
good.
Nothing. No reaction.
Good.
Just glowing. Just so relaxed.
I know. And I think that's what I would say to you ladies, is that even though we are doing a very advanced treatment, we are obviously peeling the skin, you're still going to be really chilled on the couch, you know, you're still going to have the nice heat underneath, you know.
Can you do like if you came in regularly for say every 6 to 8 weeks for a regular dermalogical facial, and then just have one of those as this, and then another one. You don't have to do a full set.
No.
You can just do like
If you just want to do a one-off every
just
now
a
and again.
one-off sort of between.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would that be a good thing to do? Would you
It
benefit?
depends on, again, what you're looking to treat. So say for example yourself with the pigmentation, we would probably get you to do a course and have it regularly, because the more intense we can make the treatment and the more regularly we're getting those ingredients on, the quicker you're going to get results.
And is that permanent once you've got rid of it?
Yeah, as long as you look after your skin.
Is it really?
Yeah, so any form of pigmentation that you have on this, there's multiple reasons why you'll get it. Sun damage is usually the biggest cause.
Mine was pregnancy.
Pregnancy is another, so
Massively
hormones is
face,
another
yeah.
one.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, or we see it quite a lot with post-inflammatory scarring from breakouts.
That's where I
Yeah, it's the same with myself. So it's one of those kind of things that if we can lighten it, what we would always say with pigmentation, it can be quite challenging to treat, so we can never guarantee that we'll get rid of it, but we will definitely lighten it. But obviously after that point, if you then go out in the sun all the time and don't put an SPF on, yes, you will still get more pigmentation. Yeah, absolutely. So it's sort of protecting the skin afterwards, absolutely. So skin's all neutralised,
Yes.
so feeling good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good, absolutely. So I'll let you continue with what would be a normal part of a facial. So
we're going to put some serum on.
fantastic.
I'm going to use the, I can never say the word,
Oligopeptide,
oligopeptide,
yeah.
to continue with the brightening.
So for you ladies, you probably have the iron active serums on your skin already in your normal Dermalogica facials that you have with us. These are our advanced serums that we apply to the skin in our Pro Skin 60. But the great thing is once you have them post-peel, because we're exfoliating the skin and we're getting rid of the dead skin cells, we've broken down the bonds between the skin cells. These will penetrate deeper than they would for a normal Pro Skin 60 or 30. So our oligopeptide one, which is going on, is the one to help to brighten the skin and again treat pigmentation. Your skin has soaked that in completely.
So you were saying that your first treatment would only ever be one layer.
Yeah.
But if you went for a 60,
Yeah.
it still would only just be that one layer you would treat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
So
then you would just then sort of complement that by facials
Absolutely.
and masks. And
there would be other
serums and
things that would
like
come in, absolutely. So it's purely just to protect your skin, because if you've never had a peel or anything as sort of advanced or as strong as this, we don't want to overload your skin like we were saying. So we'll always do one layer on the first treatment, as I say, and then we'll do more of the sort of serums, masks, etc. But even if we do 2 or 3 layers later on down the line, you'll still get your serums, you'll still get your masks. We'll just kind of tweak it in terms of timings based on what we've done in the peel section. So the mask that we're using here is our colloidal mask base, great for hydration. But as I say, we can use anything depending on your skin concerns, just like you would in a normal Pro 60. So shall we pop that off and then we will finish everything. So how are you ladies feeling about the treatment now you've kind of seen it? Is there any questions, any concerns? Is it different to kind of what you thought you'd see, or?
I don't think it's different.
I was expecting, I just pictured it being quite harsh, because you hear the words peeling.
Yeah.
Bits of skin have been.
You literally think like,
Yeah,
like when you
you're going to be
sunburn.
lighting it all
Yeah.
into the skin and that sort of stuff.
No, absolutely. And I think that's the thing, is that quite often with the word peel, it can just sort of give horror. Do you know what I mean? You just think, oh my, as you say, literally my face is going to fall off, you know. And it's very much a safe peel, that's the thing. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, even these days we actually do a peel that you can do at home. So one of the prep products that we talk about, if you sort of would want you to up your exfoliation possibly, is we have a once a week at home peel that you can do to get your skin used to it. It's not the strength of what you'd have on the couch, but yeah, that's a good way.
Exfoliate too much?
Yes, absolutely.
What's the sort of optimum level between?
It depends on which exfoliant you're using. So if it's like a granular scrub, we would usually say no more than 2 to 3 times a week. If it's more of sort of an acid or an alpha hydroxy acid base, you can use them every day, like daily superfoliant, daily microfoliant, but it really does depend on the brand and what products they are. If you over exfoliate your skin, you tend to see sensitization, so your skin can become quite sensitive. But also if you are prone to any oiliness, it will actually, you'll find that your skin will get oilier. Because of your skin's trying to protect itself, it's trying to put moisture back into its skin. And it's very common because especially, you do see a lot of these things about, retinol and microdermabrasion and all that kind of thing.
I've been asked that before when I've had facials. They said, I've used retinol recently, and I was like, no. They're like, okay. What does that mean then? Is that a bad thing? Or?
So retinol we use very regularly. We have it on our professional site. You can purchase it from us as well. Retinol is pretty much scientifically proven to be the one ingredient that will reverse the signs of aging. So. But it's strong.
Yeah.
It is really strong. So what we always say, we have 2 different strengths that you can take away. We have the stronger strength for the tray, but we have a 0.5% strength and a 1% strength, which is the highest you'll be able to get in salons. And we also have, which makes it slightly different, is we include a buffer product. So usually with a retinol, you would have a strength of 0.25 or 5, whatever. Ours, we have a buffer cream so that you can work it for your skin, so you can work out the tolerance of your skin and mix the 2 together until your skin becomes more tolerant. Because retinol, how it works is it attaches to retinol receptors which are naturally found in your skin. Everyone has different varying amounts, so I'll have different to you guys. The only way of increasing the amount of retinol receptors is to have retinol on your skin, which is why we tell you to kind of work your way up, mix the buffer creams, etc. But yeah, it's scientifically proven to reduce wrinkle size and depth, so yeah, it is a fantastic ingredient. There are some challenges you get with it. It can sensitise the skin, which is probably why they've said to you with facials. Usually for clients using a high level of retinol, we would pare down our exfoliation that we were doing, but also you've got to be aware of sun as well, so we only recommend using it at night time, because if you use it during the day it reacts with UV, so it can cause pigmentation on the skin, so it's just different little challenges.
And do they use it around the eyes, because that's my problem areas crinkly?
Yeah, you can do. So one of our eye products, which is called Age Reversal Eye Complex, has 0.1% retinol in, so we will always do a lower dosage for the eyes because the skin is so much thinner there. But yeah, absolutely, we've got one.
Can you use that in the morning before you go?
Only at night.
Only at night.
Yeah, and again with that eye cream, we would recommend starting it maybe twice a week, and then building up your tolerance to it. Some people can never get to the point of using it every day, some people can, but again, only at night time. Yeah, absolutely. Because especially for yourself, where you're worried about pigmentation by your eyes, the last thing we'd want you to do is use a product then that would increase pigmentation by using it during the day. Yeah, absolutely. So we've spritzed our skin. We have put eye products on, I would imagine.
Yep, I've got hyaluronic acid serum underneath.
Fantastic.
Ultra Smoothing Eye Serum, Calm Water Gel, and I'm going to put some barrier repair and sensitive shield SPF.
So I don't know whether you ladies have seen a lot in the press recently about hyaluronic acid. L'Oreal are talking about it a lot, thanks to Eva Longoria. So yeah, we've got hyaluronic acid in quite a lot of our products. It's great to boost the water content of the skin, which will hydrate the skin. And what you'll find is that when we do the peel, there will be specific products that we'll use at the end. So it's not like your normal facial where we can do whatever. We absolutely stick to a certain range. So we use a lot of our ultra calming products. But once you have the peels, there are products that we would recommend that you would use for the first sort of 3 days. But that's all incorporated into your peel. So we will supply them to you, whether that be in a sample form or a slightly larger form. Yeah, absolutely. And the key thing is as well is that we obviously put an SPF on the skin. Like we were saying, this is one of the key aftercare points. We always use what was called a physical SPF, so you'll notice that it's a whiter SPF because it will it basically refracts the light away from the skin, so it causes no heat in the skin. And it's an SPF of 30 that we use, but we would encourage you to use that for the first 3 days, but as high as you can for the other days, so up to 50 if possible. How does your skin feel then, my love? Alright? Good. I say it's good. No redness really. She's got a tiny little bit of pinkness on her cheeks, but
she's hot.
yeah, well, yeah, but it is literally sort of there. Sorry to touch your skin. There, and that's literally it. And you look like you're about to fall asleep. So, yeah.
Everyone's staring at
you. So, any further questions that you have, ladies, while we've got Sammy on the camera?